Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Backed or Busted. I'm your host, Rob McCallum, aka Rob McZob, and we are happy to help highlight your campaign or take a look at your project or even take a look at one that you're interested in to see if it's the real deal or not. Today, we're going to take a look at NESmaker. Let's jump over to Kickstarter and see what this is all about. Okay, so NESmaker, make NES games, no coding required. Make new cartridge-based hardware playable games for the NES, no programming required at all. Now, I will say right off the top that this, and me covering it on Backed or Busted, is a massive conflict of interest because I know the creators very well. Joe Granato and I are good buddies, and we are working together, so I definitely endorse this. And as you can see up here, I am a backer for more than $2,000. Not because he's just my friend, but because there's a lot going on in this campaign that has been done very well. But that doesn't mean everything in this campaign is done well, and I know there's at least one or two things that I don't like in the campaign, or at least that could be done the other way. Now, that's very hard for me to say because he launched this 3 days ago, and he's already at $40,000 almost of his goal of $32,000. So within about 24, 26 hours, he hit his goal. Now, I already want to jump right into everything, but let's just stop and pump the brakes right now and just take a look at the video, and then we can dive into what that video does, how it works, and continue on. Again, like a lot of projects, this is one that Kickstarter loves. But just keep that in mind too, and how that can help some of these numbers. Okay, so let's hit play.
Man, I wish you could make a Nintendo game.
Yeah, our game would be totally wicked.
Whoa!
Joe! Austin!
Who are you?
We're you! From the future!
30 years in the future.
We came to bring you NESmaker, our tool to create brand new cartridge-based hardware playable NES games.
Wouldn't that take a lot of computer programming?
No, young Joe, that's the best part!
We explained it all on this VHS tape.
If you're watching this, that means our time travel experiment worked!
But that's not the important achievement. We're here to talk to you about NESmaker.
You see, traditionally, if you wanted to make a NES game, you had to spend months, if not years, learning this archaic programming language called 6502 assembly.
But what if you're not a programmer? What if you're an artist or a storyteller?
What if there was a way to create brand new cartridge-based hardware-playable NES games without writing a single line of code?
Design your hero.
Create your monsters.
Build your world.
Tell your story on real NES hardware.
With an intuitive front-end interface.
This isn't some hypothetical thing. NESmaker already exists. In fact, we've been around the country for the last year or so showing it off, and this is what some people had to say.
It's amazing. It's easy. I don't write any programming myself, personally. I don't have to using this tool, which is amazing. So I'm really excited about this project.
It's going immediately from what you envision to the screen without that sort of middle part. This is going to make my world so much easier. Thank you.
I've never made a game, and it's really easy, and I had lots of fun.
With almost no tutorials, I figured out how to make a whole level of a video game.
Let's put yours up there.
That's crazy. I was looking forward to the game, but now I'm looking forward to making my own game.
So, if it's already a thing, why are we on Kickstarter?
Well, since NESmaker was really created so that we could build our game, it's optimized for making adventure games.
And while it can be manipulated to make other styles of games, we want to create genre modules.
And those genre modules would optimize the underlying code and the front end for whatever kind of game that you want to build.
All right, so if they do back us, what kind of rewards are we looking at?
Our primary rewards: NESmaker, the software; NESmaker Kit, the software, blank cartridge, and Kazo flasher. Everything you need to get started. NESmaker Pro, the software, a blank cartridge, and a Kazo flasher in this stylish case. Everything you need to get started in style.
I know this may have opened up a lot of questions.
So we polled our supporters to get the most common questions that people had, and we posted it to our Kickstarter. There's a very long video that should answer most of the things you might be wondering.
So check that out. Check out the rest of the campaign. And if you still have questions, reach out to us for backing. We'll try to answer them as best we can.
What kind of games do we make in the future? Yeah.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Okay, so that's the NESmaker video. Let's just step through that quickly. So it starts off with a nice little logo. And then we have basically a little bit of a narrative kind of conceit here where Joe and Austin, because I know them, are like Doc and Marty, but a little bit like Bill and Ted as well, where they're visiting their past selves. They basically introduce the concept and set up the pitch. And then they start explaining how it works and how it came to be. And then you get to see it basically in action there. Sped up. And then you get to hear testimonials from other people who have played it or used it to create something. More testimonials, which I think are an important part of videos. If you can get testimonials and do that, it's always nice. And talking about different genres and how that can work. So then they go into the rewards as well. Now, as far as the video itself, it is a little long. It's running at 3:45 here. I don't know that they could have gone. I don't think they had to do all the rewards, and I think there's a few that they did leave out. This is kind of funny. It does work. I don't think they had to go into the stretch goal stuff with the different genres here. That could have been cut down. The testimonials are certainly important. It's nice. And then to have this added little narrative intro and outro, it's not bad, to be honest. It's good. It's funny. It shows that they know what they're doing, or at least can put together a nice video. And you get to see the creators, which I'm always a big fan of. So it does check that box off. So the only thing that I'm going to dig them on is length, which they could have achieved by reducing some of the other content that they had featured. Now, of course, we're talking about NES games, which is another way of saying Nintendo Entertainment System games for the original Nintendo. Again, this is a massive conflict of interest because I'm a big fan of Joe. We work together, but we can still look at his campaign to see what works, what doesn't work, and what he could possibly do differently, and kind of share that around. Obviously, he's doing a bunch of stuff differently, and whether I'm a huge backer or a friend or not, it's good to see a campaign that works well and why it works well. So right away, we take the mystery out, and bam, I'm a backer. So this project, I'm officially backing it. Okay, now that drama's over with, let's move on here. So let's start with the campaign as always. What is NESmaker? NESmaker is a software tool for creating brand new hardware playable cartridge-based games for the Nintendo Entertainment System without having to write a single line of code. A few years ago, while developing our own NES game engine and the archaic 6502 assembly language, yada yada yada, he found that this was hard. It took a lot of work, and recruited other people to help develop this tool. Before we knew it, we had created NESmaker. So basically, he found that it was a lot of hard work to use the old way of doing it with hex tables, and he wanted to make it easier. So he found a way to do that, and now everybody gets to do it. So what can you currently do with NESmaker? You can design sprite graphics and color palettes, create assets with properties and behaviors to give developing for the NES an object-oriented feel. You can use text editor to create text strings for NPCs and other narrative devices. You can create special screens like start screens, end screens, menus, maps, and more. Customize AI, set initial parameters, items obtained, player strengths, defense, starting screen. Use the base engine to create adventure games, basic RPGs, platformers, basic brawlers, and several other types of games. Assemble with one click for testing in emulator. Flash to cartridge for one click for play on actual hardware. So here's the abbreviated way of how it works, which is a really nice graphic. This is nice that it's in bullet points. I maybe would have pared this down here to just say we've been making an NES game. 6502 assembly language is hard. It is for programmers. We are not programmers. We decided to make a tool that would make it easier for us. I get the story, but he could have parted it down. I like this. This is very easy to read. This is nice as well. It takes up a lot of screen space, but because the text is small, it had to be big by the looks of it. Get an idea for a game, create graphic assets, build screens, test an emulator, flash to cartridge, play on NES. It's awesome. So that's easy. That's the 6-step process. And he's got a bunch of videos that you can use to walk through everything. Why they need Kickstarter. So this is good. So we've started with, right at the top here, what it is, how it came to be, and what the kind of need it fills, what you can do with it, how it works in terms of the development cycle, and then why they need Kickstarter. So they've really laid the groundwork, I think, in the right order there. So NESmaker is currently a little rougher on the edges, designed to meet our needs. Now we're attempting to expand it, need some UI work. Okay, so we're going to be streamlining it and basically making it a little bit friendlier. And they want to build upon the tool and expand its current capabilities. One of the core ways we intend to do this is by building a genre module. So we got adventure module, platform module, RPG module, brawler module, and shooter module. These base engines cover many genres. For instance, tweaking the base module, both adventure game and platform, could be utilized to create a Metroidvania-style side-scroller. A shooter could be cleverly modified to create a runner. Brawler could be manipulated to create a versus game, and so on and so on. Where will the funds be exactly going? So that's always an important question. Let's keep it incredibly simple. 30% of funds raised through the crowdfunding campaign will go towards Kickstarter fees and taxes. A small portion, less than 10%, will be relegated towards further marketing. The rest will be split paying our team and hardware rewards. That makes sense to me. Those numbers do line up. And then if we still have questions, here's a video right here that has a lot of questions. Now, I don't like this. There's a frequently asked questions section specifically to answer questions. I get that these guys are filmmakers and they want to kind of put video stuff out there, but it's a lot quicker for me to read questions and scan through them to see if they have answered the one I wanted, or to even fire one back. This is a little bit more passive. It takes me off Kickstarter and further away from the ability to pledge. Let's take a look at risks and challenges. I know more than anyone that developing for the NES takes time. We spent an unexpected 3 years developing and refining our current engine, and I have continually had to morph it to work with an evolving tool. That is one of the reasons Mystic Searches is still in development. Mystic Searches is an NES game that Joe is creating based on a other Kickstarter that he did for his documentary, The New 8-Bit Heroes, which you can check out now on Amazon. It is possible that each genre module presents new challenges to tackle than more time anticipated. However, since the engine and tool are digital deliverables and are to be patched and updated, we will be able to deliver the tool in the state that it's in at the time of expected delivery, adding potential genre models and updated features as they are completed. So basically, they're hoping to get it out the door, and because things are digital, they can send you updates that you can just download and plug in, which is nice. Okay, so let's go through the rewards. $5, just a show of support. Basically, pledging this level, you'll get a thank you message from the team as well as digital images to share on social media and use as desktop wallpaper. Again, I'm a fan of the $1 show of support. You have all these assets, they're digital, they're not costing you money. You have $55 here. Maybe it's this is more of like a real deal show of support, but I'm a big fan of showing like support for $1 for anybody that might want to find out and keep up with it. $5 feels like I should be getting a little bit more than that. $36. NESmaker software. Get started creating NES games with the software. So you want to start making your games. $36 gets you in. It's really that simple. Then you can get the hardware components later, which is what we got here. NESmaker Toolkit, NESmaker, get the Kazo USB cartridge cart flasher, and a blank reflashable cartridge. This provides all the software and hardware you need to make your NES game. So that's kind of the all-in-one package for $88. Ships anywhere in the world. NESmaker Pro, basically get everything that you had before, except for you get it inside a fancy retro-inspired housing and be part of the NESmaker beta testers. We'll have access to every beta version of the software beginning within a month of the Kickstarter's end. So that's cool. Basically beta access and everything else that's coming out. NES Pro Gold, you're going to get limited run of gold flasher housings plus the beta testers and everything else from that. $10,000, your game created. Your project will go in queue, and it will be created by the alpha team at the New 8-Bit Heroes. All the art, music, narrative, the mechanics, everything you've dreamed of creating without lifting a finger. Delivery date will be determined by many factors. Please ask for details. Shipping costs and NESmaker Pro reward here are included. So that's wicked. And then the other reward is the one I selected for $2,000. Pledge $2,000 or more. Sponsor a module, be immortalized. Is your vision a specific platform game, an RPG, a space shooter? By sponsoring a module, we'll not only work hard to create the module for use with the tool, but you'll be immortalized in the foundation of NESmaker. People will be able not only use, for instance, the platform engine, but they'll be specifically using it to create Joe Eat Your Neighbor's platform engine. This reward comes with all others featured as well. So basically, this is a fancy way when you go into this module here to create your, we'll say, platformer. It's not just going to be create platform game. It'll be create Rob McCallum's platformer game. So that is one of the reasons why I sponsor this. So because I have my eyes set on an RPG based on my film Nintendo Quest. That's what I've been working with Joe on. So when you go to make an RPG with NESmaker, you're going to have to pick the Gamer Quest or the Rob McCallum Nintendo Quest RPG module to get going. So it's a little bit of marketing, and it's going to be there forever, which is really nice. So let's count the rewards so we have an idea of what that looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom, they hit that right on the head. There's 7 rewards. That's fantastic. I'm going to jump right over to KickTrack now and see if we can find NESmaker. Okay, here we are. Now, it's again, like I said, we're only 3 days into it, so we're not going to have a lot of data to go on. But you can see day 1 and day 2 have been great. Actually, day 2 was bigger than day 1. Day 1 they did 16,972. Day 2 they did 17,522. And already on day 3 they're at 5,100 here. Here are the number of backers per day: 158, 166, 53. The projection is probably going to go crazy high. Well, not enough days yet, so they've only got 2 days to draw upon, so they probably need, I think, 5 or 6 before they can do that. Here's the trend. They're trending over $400,000 right now. Now that's going to fall back down to earth. If I had to take a guess with where they are right now, I would say that they could probably top out at 65 or so, 65, 70. Not too sure. They don't have any press at the bottom yet. That Joe has not put any tags in there. Let's see if they're on the hot list. See if they're on the hot list. They're not. It doesn't look like they're on the main one. Let's see if they're on games. No, they're not on games. Let's see if they're on video games. There they are. NESmaker, number 3. So it went down to. So it was the number 1 spot on the KickTrack hot list video game projects. So that's cool that it was at the top. Here they are still at number 3. That's still a really respectable place to be. Back to NESmaker. So, like I said, things that they're doing well. The number of rewards are very clear. There's only 7. It's super easy to understand and follow. The campaign body, other than trimming some of this stuff up a little bit, it isn't too bad. The modules, basically as stretch goals, makes a lot of sense. That makes sense. I would really rework the frequently asked questions section. Why don't we just jump over there right now? A lot of pressing questions can be answered here at the link below. You're killing me, guys. You are killing me. Hit us up directly and we'll answer as best as we can. Surely you guys have 10 minutes to answer here in the frequently asked questions and post questions and put answers versus making a video every time. That's the only problem that I have with this so far. Comments, tons of comments. People are excited. Lots of people here, super backers, and Joe's a 5-time creator, basically clarifying. So he's doing a lot of work answering questions within the comments, which is nice as well. Super backers, let's jump over to community. So of the 380 backers, 294 are from the States. So this is definitely a domestic campaign. 5 backers from Vegas, 5 from LA, 5 from New York. So pretty evenly across the cities. There's no one city that seems to be above and beyond anybody else. The U.S. is clearly the front runner, and it's interesting to see the U.K., the United Kingdom, number 2, with Canada number 3, and then Germany, Spain as we go on. 47 new backers. That's nice. That's really impressive for Joe, who's a 5-time creator now. He's obviously pulling in a lot of people that have Kickstarter experience before. Good for him. And 47 new people are brought to Kickstarter because of him. That is fantastic. I like what I see here, guys. Again, I have already put my money where my mouth is. I've backed this, and I'm proud to be a backer of it. If you want to check it out, go now to Kickstarter, NESmaker. Make some NES games yourself. No coding required. Love to play it. If you have any other campaigns, if you want me to highlight your project, as so many people have actually reached out, and I want to say thank you for all the consultations that you've had me do, reach out to me on Twitter, @RobMcZob, or here at Crowdfunding, Spectacular99 @gmail.com. Happy to get in touch with you and give you some pointers. Thanks so much, and we'll see you guys next time.